All right, most people think you need millions of dollars saved to retire, but my plan is a little different, as you guys have seen in some of my other videos. In fact, based on the math, I may only need $1,000 per month from my investments to retire early. Like I talked about retiring age 45 and definitely before 50. And if the numbers play out the way I expect, that could happen in about 5 years. I'm 40 years old right now. Today, I want to walk you through the real math behind this plan that I have. And a lot of you guys asked questions on my previous video about it, and I'll get more in depth with it on this one. It's not hype, it's just numbers. Quick disclaimer before we get into it though, this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I'm just sharing my own personal financial strategy and planning. It's not financial advice, just a guy sitting in his truck on a Sunday afternoon talking to you guys on YouTube. Now, let's start with where things currently stand. And if you guys noticed my last video that I had put out, one of my last ones, my brokerage account currently sits at $91,000. So this portfolio is still early in its compounding stage. It's just a small slice of the pie of my overall portfolio. But the next 5 years are where the real acceleration happens, because the real power here isn't the current balance, it's the contribution plan. My plan is to continue doing what I've been doing for the last year and a half and investing roughly $6,000 to $8,000 every month from my side income. Now let's average that to about $7,000 per month. That equals $84,000 a year invested into just my brokerage account. And I also add 2 extra contributions every year. Every December I add an additional $10,000, and then every January I add another $10,000 to that. So each year looks roughly like $84,000 from like my monthly contributions, and then $10,000 December, $10,000 January, totaling about $104,000 a year invested into just my brokerage account. Now, this does not include that I max out both of my IRAs for me and my wife. I put 5% into my TSP, and I also do a 20% employer contribution into my self-employed 401k. Over 5 years, that $104,000 times 5, that's about $520,000 invested. Add the current portfolio of about $91,000 to that, and before market growth, we're already sitting around $600,000 in the brokerage account itself. Now, let's factor in market returns, right? Historically, markets average roughly 7 to 10% annually over long periods. I prefer more conservative assumptions, so let's assume around 7% average growth. With contributions continuing the way that they are, and they will, that could put the portfolio brokerage somewhere around $650,000 to $750,000 within 5 years. Now that's where the strategy really starts working, right? At 45 years old, I'll have that $750,000 brokerage plus all of my other like actual retirement accounts. But this brokerage account isn't meant to fund my entire retirement. It's meant to bridge a gap from age 45 to 60, basically. At around 45 years old, I will retire from the military with 25 years of service, and I'll get about a $6,000 a month military pension as a retired officer. Plus, I'm estimating $2,000 a month VA disability, saying like 50% disabled or something. That's roughly $8,000 per month in just my baseline income before touching any investments. Now, if you've seen my other videos, my plan is to retire and move from the United States to Roatan, Honduras. And based on my current estimates, my expected lifestyle there should run me about $9,000 per month. And that's for like a family of 4 living in a very upscale resort condo on the beach in a tourist area, gated security, a personal driver, a maid, private schooling for kids, eating out at resorts all the time, diving every week, a personal vehicle, all of the amenities that are available and are considered extreme luxury living on the island. So if my pension and VA disability cover about $8,000 per month, that means I only need about $1,000 a month from my brokerage account for bridging that income until I reach age 60. And that changes the entire retirement equation. If the brokerage portfolio reaches somewhere around $700,000 and I'm only withdrawing about $12,000 per year, that's a very small percentage. And honestly, I could just pay myself dividends from that brokerage account and I would reach that $1,000 a month, no problem, if I wanted to. But that means my portfolio will continue compounding, and if markets cooperate, that brokerage alone could potentially reach $1 million before age 50. I'm also going to take that brokerage and I'm going to use a pledged asset line against it to borrow against it to buy my house cash in Honduras. That's the main reason for the account. Meanwhile, there's several other accounts that are still compounding in the background, right? My Roth IRA, my wife's Roth IRA, my self-employed 401k, my military TSP that I've been putting into a majority of my career. Based on those current projections, just those accounts alone will be worth roughly 1.5 million by age 60. Tack that on with my brokerage account, and that full strategy looks something like this: brokerage account bridging early retirement from age 45 to 60, my military pension providing baseline income, VA disability is supplementing monthly income, and retirement accounts are just going to compound tax free for another decade in the background, untouched, and it won't even matter, which could eventually create a multi-million dollar overall portfolio plus guaranteed monthly income for the rest of my life from age 60 on. 5 years, very aggressive investing, and a retirement structure built from multiple sources. That's the math behind this entire plan. Now, it's just about executing it, staying locked in for the next 5 years while I'm still in the military, and completing all my side hustles and seeing how the numbers play out. If you want the real journey and you want to follow it, and it's my journey towards financial independence, hit the subscribe button. This channel documents my path towards $1 million in early retirement before age 50. Comment below, how much monthly income would you need to retire comfortably? I could retire on way less than $9,000 a month out there. Luxury living for a family of four out there is actually around like $5,000-6,000 a month, so I'm going way past that. But I just want to live a very luxurious life on island time and be able to pick up and just travel around the world whenever I want to with my family. I'll catch you guys in the next one.